Don't you think that companies are like more into like they are doing formalities only, like 2% rule, and they are just obeying that kind of a paperwork? And are they really looking for the social impact? Do you think so?
Okay, so let me give you with two different perspectives of it.
Yeah.
So the first one is that not every company is doing that, right? So let me give you, in 2008-9 when we started, we basically just imagine getting into an industry where an industry does not exist at all. There was no industry for CSR consulting or CSR
So
advisory.
it was which year?
It was 2008 we started working, and 2009 we got registered.
So you're talking about Fiinovation.
Yeah, our company.
Yeah.
Fiinovation.
Yeah.
So when we started the company,
Okay.
and I'll come to your question because you'll understand the directive principles of it. So when we started a company, we could, we didn't have a space. There was no industry for CSR consulting. Means all the big four consulting companies did not have a CSR advisory space, right? So when we went,
but the concept was there.
Concept has been for ages together. Concept has been for ages
So
together.
CSR term was there.
Yeah. The terminology of corporate social responsibility existed pre-independence.
Okay.
Right, and has been carried forward through independence, through the last so many years, by various foundations and organizations. And let me tell you that I think before the law came, we had a good substantial 15 to 16, I think about 12 to 15,000 crores of annual investment in CSR, even before the law existed in 2013. Okay, so there was substantial amount of it. But so when we started the organization, we wanted to enter into an industry where the industry did not exist. Right. So, so we were kind of Teslas of our sector.
Kind of a pioneer.
A kind of pioneer. Yeah.
We can
at
say,
that time, no one existed.
Yeah.
And specifically for this. So a lot of firms used to do M&A, tax audits and all of these. But specific to CSR, there was no agency at that point of time at this level. So we thought of disrupting industry, but creating substantial positive change. So we entered there. So what happened, I'll tell you interestingly, because the dots always get attached. When we started, initially 1 year, we had a lot of problems, as any startup would have. Financial problems, infrastructure issues. We started with a very small room, 4 people. We had to take care of the salaries. I was lucky enough to have a few young individuals with me who could afford few laptops.
It was 2009.
2009, yeah.
Okay.
And just 4 of us starting this organization, and we had few laptops, few desktops. We started working. Paying rent was very difficult at that point of time because we wanted to generate capital from the business itself.
Yeah.
But we also saw an opportunity there because we were convinced about the sector we were going to work in. So money did not get us. Valuation prospect did not get us. What got us is the intent.
Okay.
So in a way, it was easy for us because every time we would go down, our intent would help us bounce back, right? And it was sort of a mental return on investment. M using the word mental. Now what happened is when we started going into rooms, nobody expected us. Suppose, for example, you're coming from an engineering consulting company. You go into a room for engineering consulting. People would expect you to come. People would know what you would talk. And here you get a card from a company which is CSR consulting. And they would like, why? Why do we need to talk? So our first door knock was always a sense of query. Why? And the moment we started talking to people, we realized that people are not averse to the concept of CSR, but in the absence of a structure, they have different pathways to address it. The easiest pathway would be to just write a check and give it to some organization. Nobody was focused greatly on impact. Not every company was doing it. What 2013 did for us is it gave us 4 years of preparation.
Oh, yeah.
So by the time the law came, we were actually prepared. Because we were working in an industry where the industry did not exist. And then as soon as the mandate came in, the industry came. Because now companies were under compliance obligations. Then they had to. So you had the big fours and all the top
You
consulting.
must be having a
firms.
lot of calls from a lot of companies and all that.
Yeah, we initially had a lot of it. We had people queued up
Yeah.
with us trying to do a lot of work. People who would be a bit apprehensive about joining us as a team because they would not be, sure. We are not built up to work in like CSR consulting firms.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of people from different backgrounds. We had medical doctors, we had engineers. Some of them could not find a suitable job outside. Some of them got intrigued by the concept of it. Some of them were convinced this is the way forward. But we got together and we scaled up. And I think in 2013 we scaled up 2x in terms of human resource. And I think in 2015 we went 3x because the requirement was so much. So in a way, when we entered the industry, the CSR space did not exist. But what 2013-14 did is it told us that hindsight, what we did was right. And it facilitated our process. Yes, it increased the competition because now it was an industry
Okay.
and you had competitors.
So they've lots of new companies also.
Lots of new, very small companies, plus the top 4 formed specialized departments.
Okay.
Which again became because they had done great work in their tax audits or M&As and acquisitions and everything. So they had a reputation. So it was relatively easier for them. But we were a growing brand.
Mm-hmm.
And also what made the journey interesting is we are still now bootstrapped. We don't owe a single rupee of debt to any institution. We are the equity is fully with us. We have not gone the Shark Tank way.
Okay.
And we have not looked at investment.
You
I don't deny the requirement of an investment later.
Okay.
But as of now, till date, we have maintained our bootstrapped structure of existence because that has helped us to evolve without obligations. So we have a lot of in-house discussion before we evolve a new process, a new mechanism. I have a feeling when you go in for investments, you have a blockage in that. So so that's where I think as a CSR consulting advisory firm, I think we are with freedom, but the journey ahead is huge. So let's see how we cover it. Yeah.